Did you know that Claude Desktop can build your N8N AI automation workflows for you? Well, my name is Mike Murphy, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install and set up an N8N MCP server for the Claude Desktop app. The N8N MCP server that we're going to be installing in Claude Desktop is a free and open source project. In case you're not familiar with the term MCP, it stands for Model Context Protocol. You can think of an MCP server like a plugin that gives AI assistants like Claude Desktop extra skills. The N8N MCP server plugs directly into Claude Desktop. This gives Claude direct access to structured, up-to-date knowledge about N8N nodes, properties, operations, documentation, AI-capable tools that are available in N8N, extracted configurations from popular workflows. In other words, it pulls the best parts from real-world examples and makes them available to Claude. It also gives Claude access to the entire N8N template library. And you might be wondering, why can't I just go to ChatGPT 5 and say, build me an N8N automation workflow? I mean, ChatGPT 5 can build entire web apps in like 5 seconds. When you just enter a text prompt, whether it's in ChatGPT or Claude, and you ask it to build an N8N automation, the AI assistant is going to go out there and kind of do a little research and build you what it thinks is the best way to build that N8N automation. It might do a great job, but it is more or less guessing the best way to build it. But when you enter that same text prompt in an AI assistant like Claude Desktop that has access to something like the N8N MCP server, it is giving the AI assistant, in this case Claude, all of the tools it needs so it can find the right nodes for the automation that you want to build. It can read all of the essential settings on N8N, and not only that, it can actually validate all of the configurations that it puts together before you actually run the code. These tools that are available when you add the N8N MCP server give Claude superpowers. But how does Claude actually know how to use all of these tools? We give it the N8N MCP Playbook. These are the rules or the instructions that Claude is going to follow every time you ask it to build an N8N automation workflow. In today's tutorial, I'm showing you how to add the N8N MCP server in Claude Desktop. But just be aware that it also works seamlessly with Claude Code, Windsurf, and Cursor. And I do plan on making a follow-up tutorial on how to add this to Claude Code. And if you also want to see how to add it to Cursor or Windsurf, just leave a comment and I will try to make those as well. The prerequisites are the requirements for this tutorial, and I'm going to go over each of these in detail, but you must have Claude Desktop and Node.js installed. You need a link to the GitHub Repo, which I'll leave in the description. You'll need an N8N account, the N8N URL to access your account, and an N8N API key are optional, but to get the most out of this N8N MCP, I definitely recommend it, and is what I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial. And finally, you'll just need a basic text editor. Here is a preview of the steps that I'm going to be following in this tutorial, and everything will be documented in the description of this video. Make sure that you have the Claude Desktop app installed on your Mac or Windows device. And if you don't, just open a web browser, go to claude.ai/download and choose whether you have Mac or Windows and just click to download and install. Step 2. Install Node.js. Node.js, it's free, open source, cross-platform. It just allows you to run JavaScript on your computer. To check and see if you already have Node.js installed on your computer, I'm on a Mac. I'm going to open up the Applications folder. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom until I see the Utilities folder. So just double click to open up the terminal. I'll click and just start typing node, N-O-D-E, space, -- version, V-E-R-S-I-O-N, tap the return key. So if you see a version number, that means that you have Node.js installed. If Node.js is not installed on your computer, when you type in node space dash dash version, tap return, you're going to see something like not found. To install Node.js, open a web browser, go to nodejs.org. On this homepage here, you can click on download up the top or just click get node.js. You can install using the terminal, but the easy way, come down here and select your operating system. For me, I'm going to click on Mac OS installer. That is going to download a package or a .pkg file to my computer. Then just double click on the package file and just run through the installer. Enter your Mac password when prompted. Click Install Software to finish the installation. Reopen the Mac terminal, type in node space dash dash version, tap return, and now you should see the current version number. We are now going to add the N8N MCP Server to Claude Desktop. And to do so, we're going to follow the instructions on the GitHub repo for this project. So scroll down below all of this code, and what we're looking for is right here, option 1, npx. And in case you're wondering, which I know you are, npx stands for Node Package Execute, and it runs Node tools on the fly, which is why Node.js must be installed. Now, before we add the N8N MCP server, I'm just going to open up Claude Desktop. I'm going to go to the Search and Tools button here and just confirm to you that at this time, the N8N MCP server has not yet been added to Claude Desktop. So let's add it now. All you need to do, just select this little snippet of code under the option 1 npx. Just select it, copy it to your clipboard, Command or Control C. Open a new terminal or command line window. I'm just going to click and I'm going to paste in that little snippet of code, Command or Control V. Then just tap the return key. Now the N8N MCP server is running. Before we proceed to the next step, we are going to stop this process here in terminal. Otherwise, it's just going to run forever in the terminal, and it could lead to issues with rate limits. So we're going to stop it here in terminal, but it is still going to work in Claude Desktop. So where your cursor is, you're just going to press the Control key and tap the letter C, and that is going to stop the process. We're good to go to the next step. We're going to go back to the GitHub repo. Then we're going to go below that snippet of code that we just added in the terminal, and you're going to see basic configuration and full configuration. Now we are going to be using the full configuration, and the main difference between the two, the full configuration gives you the option to add your N8N URL and the API key. So we're going to select this one, copy it to your clipboard. The easiest way to do that, just click the little icon in the top right corner, and when you click that, it is going to copy it to your clipboard. Open the Claude Desktop app. Now open the Claude Desktop settings. On a Mac, I'll go to the top menu, click on Claude Settings. In the left sidebar, go to the very bottom, click on Developer. As you can see at the top, this is where you add and manage MCP servers. So come here and click on the button Edit Config. That is going to open up a Finder or a Windows Explorer window, and it should have the Claude Desktop config.json file highlighted. I'll right-click, go to Open With, and just select any text or code editor. I'm just going to choose Z. I'm going to highlight everything that's in there. Just press Command A or just select it, tap the delete key so there's nothing in this file, and I'm just going to paste Command V. So this is that full configuration that we copied on GitHub. You'll just need to modify or edit these two lines of code in the configuration file. So the first one, you're just going to paste in the URL of N8N, so how you access N8N. And the second one, you're going to paste in an N8N API key. This makes it so Claude always has access to the most up-to-date documentation, the nodes, the template library. And to get the N8N URL and API key that you need to add to the configuration file, open a web browser and go to N8N the way that you typically access it. And there are instructions in the GitHub documentation for how to get the N8N URL if you are running N8N locally in something like a Docker container. Now, it does not matter if you are using the paid cloud version of N8N or if you are using the self-hosted or the community edition on a VPS such as Hostinger, which is what I do. If you launch N8N from your Hostinger VPS dashboard or similar VPS, just sign into your VPS account, go to the Manage app to launch N8N, and you're just going to use the URL that is in the browser window. I'm going to select my custom domain name here. So just this first part, I'll copy it, Command-C. Now I'm going to go into the text editor where I have the config file open. I'm going to go to the N8N API URL line. I'm just going to select over the HTTPS. I'm inside of the quotations. I'm just going to paste Command-V. And now you need to get an N8N API key and paste it here. So go back to N8N in your browser, go to the bottom left corner, click on your profile, and click on Settings. In the left sidebar, click on N8N API. Then you're just going to click on the button, Create an API Key. Give it a name. I'll call it N8N_Claude. I'll keep the expiration at 30 days. I'll keep all of this the same. Then I'm going to click on Save. Very important. Never expose your API keys. So if you're a tutorial maker like myself, or if you're doing a live stream, you never want to reveal your API keys. Store them in a secure location. Hover your cursor over the API key, then click to copy it to your clipboard. Go back to your text editor where you had the Claude config file still open. I'm going to select over the text that says your API key, but I'm going to keep the 2 quotation marks, and I'm just going to paste in the API key right there. And once you're done, save the file in your text editor. To do so in Z, I'm just going to go to the top menu, go to File, Save. Now I'm going to quit Claude Desktop. So go to the top menu, Claude, quit. I'll reopen. So now Claude is going to recognize the configuration file that we just changed. And now for the moment of truth. Is the N8N-MCP server installed and running in Claude Desktop? Well, to check it, we're just going to click on the search in tools. Bingo. There we have it. N8N-MCP is enabled. And if I click the little arrow, we are going to see there are a ton of tools available in this MCP server. Pretty cool. If you ever want to delete or remove the N8N MCP server or any other MCP servers that you have installed, go back to the settings. So go to Claude, Settings. I'll go to Developer. There we see the N8N MCP server that we just installed. It is running, but if you want to remove it or delete it at any time, you can just click the little trash can in the top right corner. So the next step, we're going to create a project in Claude. And notice that projects are only available on the paid plans of Claude, but I have a good workaround for you if you are on the free plan, so not to worry. So once we create the project, we're going to go back to the GitHub repo where there is a very detailed set of instructions, and we are just going to copy all of these instructions and add it to the project. That way, every time we enter a text prompt using the project, Claude knows exactly what to do every time. To create a new project, toggle open the sidebar, click on Projects. Go to the top right corner and click on the New Project button. Give your project a name. I'm going to skip the project goals for now, but I would definitely recommend going back, as the more details you give Claude, the better results you're going to get. But click on the Create Project button. Go back to the GitHub page for N8N MCP project. We're going to scroll below the README where we copied everything before. Just keep scrolling down. And this is what you're looking for, the Claude project setup. Go in the top right corner, click on the icon. That's going to copy everything to your clipboard. Then you're going to go back to Claude Desktop. In the top right corner where it says Instructions, click the plus. And you're just going to paste in all of those instructions. Click on Save Instructions. And the workaround, if you are on the free plan of Claude, all you need to do is open up a text editor or open up a markdown editor like Typora or Obsidian and just paste in all of the instructions. and I can save this document to my computer. Just click the plus icon, upload a file, and just attach those instructions each time you're chatting with Claude, building the N8N workflow, and Claude is going to reference those instructions just like it would in the project. If using the N8N MCP server with Claude code, be sure to add it to the Claude MD file, and for cursor and windsurf, you can add them to the rules. So let's test it out. I am in the N8N MCP project. I've got my instructions saved. I'm going to enter a prompt and ask Claude to build me an N8N workflow called Surprise Me. So when I send a Telegram message, I want N8N to send me back either a corny joke, a pun, an inspirational quote, or a random fun fact. I'm just going to click on send. So Claude is getting to work. And you'll see here the right panel opens up, and it's just writing JSON code, which is what N8N uses. Now, occasionally a little pop-up will come up asking me for permission. I'll just click always allow, and then Claude just keeps on going. Okay, so at the end, Claude created this implementation guide explaining what the Surprise Me bot workflow does. So it's a workflow that listens for messages from Telegram, and then it responds with a random, corny joke, pun, inspirational, or fun fact. And if I don't put Surprise Me, it is going to send me a helpful message instead. Then it explains how it works on N8N. There is a Telegram trigger node, there is an if node, a function node, and then a Telegram node to send things back. And to actually deploy or publish this workflow directly to N8N, all we have to do is just simply download the JSON file to your computer, and then import the JSON file into N8N, or I'm going to show you a cool little trick that is guaranteed to impress your friends. The typical way to get this into N8N, come up here, click the drop down, and click Download as JSON. I'm going to save it to my desktop. The cool way, I'm just going to click Copy. So I've copied this entire workflow to my clipboard. Sign in to N8N, click the plus icon, select Workflow to create a new blank workflow. All I'm going to do is simply paste in that code that I copied. I told you it was cool. The other way, though, if you don't want to do the cool way, come up here to the little ellipsis and just choose Import from File and just select the JSON file. Claude does not have access to your saved credentials or your personal data on N8N. So when you import a workflow that Claude created, if there are nodes that require credentials, you are going to have to set them yourself in N8N. In addition to having to set the credentials, there's also a very good likelihood that you're going to run into some error messages, or things are not working exactly the way you thought, or maybe you want to make some changes or modifications. Well, this is just like vibe coding. You're just going to go back into Claude Desktop, and you're going to go back and forth with Claude. Give it screenshots of any error messages, explain what is going on, and Claude is just going to work with you, and it's just going to fix the code as needed until it gets it right. So every time it makes modifications to the code, it's going to update you and tell you, okay, I fixed everything. So you'll just go back. You can either download the JSON file and re-import it, or just simply copy everything and just paste over the entire workflow whenever you need to update it. So let's test out my Surprise Me Telegram random content bot. So I have Telegram open. The first node is the Telegram trigger. It is waiting for a message from Telegram. So I'm just going to click the play icon. You can see it's waiting for a trigger. So I'm going to start a chat here. And the trigger word is surprise me. Surprise me. Node executed successfully. I've got a little check mark. Okay, let's go to the next one. Is surprise me the command? Click plus. Okay, that executed successfully. How about we go to send help message? Click that. Well, it's not going to send a help message because I used the right term. Okay, so how about generate random content? I'll click that. Node successfully. Now send a surprise message. So now I'm going to wait for a message to come to my Telegram, which is the whole point of this workflow. I'll click the play icon. Boom, I got a corny joke. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. I like it. And to activate this workflow or to make it go live, so I can just open up Telegram on my phone or my computer or my iPad, send the message surprise me, and get back a joke or a quote or a pun at any time. So I'm just going to come up here and click active. Hop on my phone. If I type anything but surprise me, it's going to send that helpful message. So I'll put hello, and it's saying, sorry, I don't understand that command. Send me, surprise me to get a random joke, pun, inspirational quote, or fun fact. So let's put in surprise me. This is not case sensitive, so I could use all caps. I could use some caps, some lowercase, does not matter. Surprise me, send the message. Inspirational quote this time. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. Very good. Let's do one more. Surprise me. Fun fact, the Hawaiian alphabet only has 12 letters. And that is how to install and set up the N8N MCP server in Claude Desktop to build AI automation workflows in N8N. My name is Mike Murphy, your AI handyman. Cheers.